Good morning, everybody, and welcome to 2022. It's our first show of the new year. Hope you all had a great holiday season. And for those you don't know, I'm Jenny Norris. I'm the host of Homestaging Talk Show Live. And I'm also the chairwoman of the International Association of Homestaging Professionals, president and CEO of StagedHomes.com, and I own and operate a staging company out of Denver called Sensational Home Staging. We stage Colorado. And 2021 wrapped up. Hope you all had a great end of your year. And don't know if you had a chance to look back and take a look at your success and so forth. But I'm glad to have you with us and happy to be back live with a wonderful guest today. Go ahead and comment. Let me know you can see me. And the session is being recorded. And so we will always put these up on our website, on homestagingtalk.com, and also on our YouTube channel, which is the iHosp YouTube channel. And you can find all that information on our page, the iHosp page, and also on the Homestaging Talk Facebook page and Facebook group. So with that, getting started, I always like to start off with some announcements. And our guest today, of course, is the wonderful, fabulous, successful, get her picture up here. Here she is. Oh, I don't want that one to do this. There, Nikki Watson. So she'll be joining us, and Nikki is out of Dallas and has so much going on and just a dynamo. So I know a lot of you are familiar with her, and if you're not, you're in for a treat. We've been working on some things towards the end of the year. We have a lot going on, and I wanted to share with you. First of all, let's do this. iHosp is celebrating its 23rd anniversary. That goes for another little call out here. These things are hard to blow sometimes. Anyway, 23 years ago it started, 1999. It is the oldest and largest homestaging trade industry association in the world, and we are definitely on the grow. There's some great things happening coming up this month or next month. I hope to have our global operations person on, Paloma, if that works with her schedule. She's out of England, but doing a great job expanding and reaching out to other countries. And so for those of you that don't know, iHosp is truly global. We are in over 20 countries around the world and growing. And it is definitely needed to have, we call iHosp your home in the home staging industry, because it's great to have a connection with other colleagues and for ongoing education and just support. So that is why we exist. One of the things that I'm working on, I do want to give one last plug for, is the home staging industry statistics. And hey, Nikki, thank you for letting me know you're here. Homestagingstats.com is where the stats are going to be posted, but we need your information. So the more data that we have to be able to pull together, the better the survey will be and the results will be. So if you have not turned in your statistics yet, please do so. The link to do that is posted on many groups publicly. If you don't know where to find that, please comment in the comment section and I'll send you the link so you can turn in your statistics. It'll probably take, depending on how you track your business, 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes to answer the questions. It took me a few minutes because I know my numbers, but in general, it's not complicated. It just helps us to give a framework to help educate our audience and the target people that we work with, who sometimes are still skeptical about the impact of staging. And so the belief factor is overcome by statistics and information that is solid, and it proves the impact of staging, whether it's a consultation or a vacant home that's being staged, whatever price point, different parts of the country. And so we want to parcel all that out. And then we send this information out to all of the top real estate companies, the different entities that are reporting on the real estate industry and staging, to make sure that they have accurate information. And one of the big pet peeves I have is when it comes to pricing, we should be the ones sharing what the pricing is, not having third-party entities who don't run staging companies, who don't know how we operate, telling the public that our pricing should be $500 to stage a house or $750 to stage a house, and not give any framework of what does that mean. Is that a consultation? Is that a vacant house? And those of us in the industry, of course, we know that means that's probably a consultation followed by a quick hands-on. That certainly is not a full vacant house with the main rooms being staged. So be part of the success of our industry. Help us provide the statistics. And again, if you don't know where to find those, please comment in the comments section and we will get those to you. All right. Let's see. I'm going to show this in the stream. This is a little, oops. Oh, okay. That didn't work. Oh, I got to love live video here. Okay. So those of you that are in the industry also, or looking at getting in the industry, if you are checking out home staging and you're watching this segment, there is a guide to the home staging industry for home stagers. And there's also a guide for real estate agents. And we put this together, so we could help educate people who either want to enter the business and be a part of it, or for real estate agents who are maybe currently not using staging as a marketing and listing tool like they should be, because it's critical for their success and a really smart way to get business. But it also educates the realtors on what our process and pricing is, what they can expect, and who they need to be working with. And so for stagers, it talks about the industry, the income potential, why education is important, getting a firm foundation. And those are complimentary, and those are available on the iHosp site and elsewhere. So if you would like to receive a copy of those, again, put a comment in the comments section and I will send those to you. All right. We are continuing to accredit courses as iHosp, as an association. And so when you see this seal of approval, you know that that course has been accredited by the largest association in the world and is a reputable course. And as time has gone on, because staging is now in its 50th year, as far as when it was birthed, and then it really took off in the late 90s. There are a lot of other educational entities that have popped up, of course, and some of them are really great and some of them are not. People have come and they paid $95 to get a certificate for a staging course. And I'm sorry, that's just not a reputable course. There's, a certain quality and content that needs to be taught to somebody entering the industry. And to me, even though people try to save money and they want to try to do things cheapest, it's not a good way to start your business. You want to have a firm foundation in knowledge, understanding how to market your services, how to close sales, the logistics of running a company. Pricing your services is so key. And a lot of the courses out there do not teach that. And specifically for your particular market. Where I am in the Denver region, my pricing is very different than somebody who is in a larger metro area, such as Southern California or New York or, South Florida and so forth. They can get more money for their staging because their properties are priced higher. And there's a direct correlation between the property prices in a region and how much a stager can charge. And if you're not being taught that, that will be a problem for you when you get started, because you won't know how to price and you'll guess. And my inclination is that you're probably going to guess too low. That's just one aspect that you need to be taught on top of, just running your business, scaling your business, putting processes and things in place from the beginning that help you succeed. So look for that when you're checking out courses. And speaking of which, we have our Scale Business program that we have rolled out. It is almost 200 pages of content. Don't let that scare you. It's a business overview manual that takes you from start to finish and teaches you things like putting a standard operating procedure together, hiring procedures. And the idea of scale, because I didn't really understand that term when I first heard it. I thought, does that mean like franchise or expansion? And the answer could be yes for both of those. It's basically planning out your business growth, but getting to the point where you are not working in your business every day, but you're working on your business and your business can run without you. And then that frees up your time as the owner, the CEO, the president, wherever your title is, to pursue other projects and other endeavors. Because if your time is 100% tied to your business every single day, you're never going to get out of it. And so it's all about delegating and putting the right people in place and having processes together. And then ultimately thinking into the future, what is your exit strategy going to be? Do you have a product with your company that is viable and something that you can sell? When I left California and came to Colorado in 2009, it never even occurred to me to try to sell my company there. The market had collapsed, the real estate market, and yet we still had business because I had been very well established in that market, had actually started the market in Sacramento area. And so I left. And, if that were me today, I would be looking to sell my company so somebody else could step in and continue to run it and make money off what I built for 7 years there. And so flash forward to where we are today, talking about exit strategies and planning for the future is not taboo anymore. In the beginning, we were sort of discouraged from talking about, leaving the industry, like, oh, you can't do that because, you can't quit. And it's not quitting. It's basically like, we're all getting older and someday we're not going to want to do this, do this. And it would be nice to pass the company on to somebody who wants to step in and keep it running versus having somebody start from scratch. And so there's a number of stagers who've successfully been able to do this over the past 3 to 4 years. And to me, that's a great thing because it tells me that the industry, when it transitions, these companies are transitioning to other people who want to keep it growing, and it's in capable hands. And as an industry leader, and I know those of you that are in that same position, that you are thinking about the industry and wanting it to grow and are protective of it and so forth and want it to be viable. That's something that's very much on my mind because this is my 20th year. I am entering my 20th year in staging. And, I won't be doing this forever. And, I love the industry, but one day I will want to retire and enjoy the fruits of my labor. And my hope is that even in the leadership positions, that those are transitioned into people who really have a heart and a care for the industry and want to see it continue to grow and thrive. And so one of the things we've talked about doing is a sort of a leadership, not academy, but something to kind of cultivate people who are interested in stepping into these roles. And so again, if you're watching and this is something that you have had on your heart or are interested in, you can email me or message me. You could put a comment in here and actually I can reach out to you that way as well. So very exciting times. All right. I think that is it. So I'm not going to take up any more time. I'm going to bring our special guest. I see she's here in the studio. So Nikki, I think it gives you a little bit of a countdown. So here we go.
Yeah, I see.
There she is. Hello, beautiful.
Hi, how are you?
Good. It's so nice to have you with us.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here, of course.
Well, for those people who don't know who you are, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, where your business is, and we're going to talk a lot about all your ventures, which I'm excited to share.
Well, I'm Nikki Watson, the owner of the DesignQuad. We are in Dallas, Texas, and all over the Metroplex, and now we are in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes, so you that happened right at the end of last year that you launched into a second region. And so it's interesting because there's only a handful of stagers that I'm aware of that have multiple branches in different states. There might be ones that might expand within their region, but taking it to another state, I only know of like 2 other people that have done that. So why did you want to do that? And how is it going for you?
It is actually going great. So the reason is my sister recently moved to Atlanta from here, and she's always kind of been in around my business and knows how it runs and everything. And she wanted to make a career change. So she's owned several salons in her life, and she has an event center here in Dallas. So she's like, I don't want to do hair anymore. I want to do something else. And I was like, well, why don't you open DesignQuad in Atlanta? Doesn't that sound interesting to you? And she's like, yes, let's do it. So that was on a Thursday, and the next Thursday we were staging our first house in Atlanta. So
That's amazing.
It's going good.
The thing is, she's been a stager. She was staging hair. She just wasn't staging houses.
That's
but
true.
She's transforming people. And I feel like people who are creative like that have a vision, you can step into something. Of course, is she your older sister or younger sister?
Younger sister.
So she's got big sis to help give her guidance.
Yes.
Very, very exciting.
Yes.
And I've always loved your name, the DesignQuad, because very clever, very, very catchy. And so your size of business, because there's, stagers that they might have a smaller business, medium and large. I would consider your business to be a large business. At any given time you have, give us the number, 100 houses, or how many houses did you stage last year between consultations and vacants?
We did 1,300 houses, and we have 215 houses worth of inventory right now. So
that deserves a blowout for my Happy New Year.
215 is a crazy number.
It is.
But it's been a great couple years. The 2020 pandemic was, I thought, the biggest we can go. That we had a huge year that year, and we did even better in 2021. So 2021. So it's just blowing my mind that all this stuff, these houses are selling fast. The market is crazy everywhere in every market, but people are still staging, which I'm thankful for, that they're still believing in what we do.
Well, I also feel like it's also the concept is growing because of people like you and even myself that are out there staging and educating people,
Yes.
that they see that it's necessary. And it's exciting. And we had a great 2021. We set records for revenue for about, I think, 6 or 7 out of the 12 months of all time. And going back 20 years, because I keep track of all that. And I was like, whoa, because I didn't realize it until June hit. And I looked back and I'm like, wait a second, January was the best of all time. May was the best of all time. And so it's those of you that aren't tracking your business, it's not hard to do. I just use spreadsheets, and then it creates little bar graphs. I get to see little sticks of the different color comparing each month and year. So I can see at a glance how we've grown. But 215. So for people that are watching, do you have one warehouse space, and how large is it?
It's 10,000 square feet. So we have one warehouse space. And usually in the wintertime, we have to get storage units to do the overflow because, people are going on vacation. They're not staging as much. This year, we didn't have to do that, which I'm so glad, because I usually freak out around December, January. I'm like, why do we have so much furniture in here? What's going on? So we didn't have to do it this year, which is great. Last year we did. We had 3 storage units in addition to our 10,000 square feet. So I was like, oh no, this has to pick back up, but it does. Eventually it does. People
It does.
need to go in January, and the phones are crazy right now.
Well, yeah. And so then, and speaking of that, because that's what I call like a sort of a business cycle, knowing your business cycle. And so when people are newer, stagers are newer, and the phone isn't ringing as much, you don't have the calls, there can be this inclination to be like, a panic kind of sets in. Like,
oh yeah,
did everybody stop
doing sales and coupons and all kind of crazy stuff trying to get people to call?
Well, yeah. So marketing, let's talk about that, because I think a lot of and you and I've messaged privately and so forth. We're going to talk about your education thing you're doing, and also your new program. I want to talk about the what's it called? Fresh Start?
Restart.
So we want to talk about that as well. But when it comes to a business, a lot of people, they oh, I want to be a stager and I love decorating. And so, they want to start a business, and there's really not any real blockades to getting started. It's very easy to get started in staging, right? Set up a business and so forth. And then they sit back and they're like, well, I got my website and like I got my business card, but I don't have any business. And that's because they're missing the big piece, which is the marketing. So when you mention what you did to drum up business, when the business got slower, you said you send out coupons, and what else do you do?
Oh yeah, we will do. I mean, we'll call people that have used our service before, and say, hey, do you have any friends that have listings that need staging? We just kind of start beating down the walls and making sure that people know we're still here. Hey, we're still staging. Call us if you need us. And we just take all kinds of. We'll go down realtor.com, and I know people use the MLS different ways, but we'll go on realtor.com and look at what's on the market, and we'll call those agents. If it's vacant, you need some furniture over there, the house is in a few days, call us. Yeah. We will. I mean, because that's just you. They don't know you. They don't know you're available. And a lot of times, of course, they're scared of price, because sometimes, that's just a thing. And they don't know what it is. If you call and say, I'm looking at your listing, I see that it's vacant. This is my quote. I'm giving you a quote right now. You know what it is. So you can either take this to your seller or not, but hopefully they do. And you never know what will happen. So just making sure you're getting the word out about your business, not just sitting, waiting on it to come. So.
Right. And I mean, and I've even, because I think fear is the big thing that holds people back from doing that, because they don't want to hear no, or, why did you call me? And my line when I pick up the phone is like, I'm getting my calendar set for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Wanted to see if you had anything you needed us for staging consultations or vacant. That's a great way to call up clients. And what she said is true. It's out of sight, out of mind. You could have a huge business, but if you haven't send anything out to your clients, let them know that you're still there. And I'm a big proponent of giving them something of value, some little education, a little tip or something, so that it's not just gimme. It's a two-way street. But I mean, I've even heard like, oh, are you still staging? Yeah, we're still staging. And I've heard more this last year than ever from people, from realtors in my market. I've never had to stage a house before.
Yes.
This is the first time I'm calling. And in my head, I'm saying, you've always had to stage a house. You just didn't, because you either didn't where you were cheap, or you didn't, you just throw it on the market. You think it's going to sell, but you left money on the table for your clients. You really didn't do the best service for them. That's what's going on in here.
Yeah.
But of course, I don't say that out loud. I'm like, well, we're here to help you. We're happy,
We're here, whatever you need. Yes.
Yeah. Because in a hot, your market, Dallas, has it been, are they predicting it to slow down at all?
Not right now. No, they're not seeing any cooling off of the market, and literally all year. I think that it's just going to stay the way that it is. There's still multiple offer, over asking, those kind of things going on in this market, and I don't see it changing anytime soon. And they have not predicted that it's going to slow down. So it's still going to be hot for the rest of the year, which is good and bad, because I know that in realtors' minds, when they see a good market, they're like, well, why do I want to talk my client into paying for staging?
Right.
So then we have to come in and educate them. Oh, you're, like you said, you're leaving money on the table. So and they just don't know. They don't know what they don't know. Getting the word out, doing classes, teaching them how to use us is huge. And I think that every stager should be doing classes to their real estate community, everybody.
Yeah, educating them in that guide, the one I showed up before you came on. If you got those of you that are listening, that's meant to get into the hands of real estate agents. It's not so people are coming and joining iHospice. It's not the goal of it. The goal is so that as a professional in the industry, we have something we can send to somebody and go, listen, this is what you need to know about the staging industry. This is how we work. This is the price you can expect. This is the process. This is how it helps you get business. And the real estate agents that include staging as a standard part of their listing process are adding value. And even though they can, sure, my husband and son are both realtors. They could walk around a house with a client and tell them clean and paint and do these different things, but they don't want to be in that role. And so realtors look more professional. Mm-hmm. And I just put a blog post out on this. Time is a great equalizer. And so if they're taking their time to drag furniture around and work with their client, they're losing money, because they could be taking that time to prospect for more business, because they will always make more money in commission selling a house than we will ever make staging it. Right. That's why we have to do 1,300 houses, or my number was about, I think we did about 400 last year. So, whatever, and those of you that are watching, whatever your goals are, I think it's so incredible to have people in our industry that have really busted through the ceiling. And Nikki doesn't just stage. So she also, let's talk about your new adventure, new venture, and it's an adventure. And what prompted you to start this endeavor?
So a lot of years, I guess my mother has put this into my sister and I. We've volunteered pretty much all our life. So we've always done some sort of volunteering. And as an adult, of course, my children grew up volunteering as well. So New Year's Eve on a Friday, my youngest daughter texts me and says, Mommy, what do you think about starting a call center and hiring the girls at Exodus Ministries? So Exodus Ministries is a full service ministry for ladies that are coming out of prison and rehab. And they live there for a year. It's an apartment complex. So each apartment is decorated for these ladies and their families. So they have to have children there. They have to be there with their children for a whole year. So they learn how to, they got to get a job. They learn how to parent again because they've been away. They have to save money. It's a ministry, so they go to Bible study. This is it's a pretty strict program. And a lot of ladies don't make it through because they're not fully ready to change. So, but the ones that do make it through the program, they are just ready to go and change their life and start rebuilding. So she has volunteered there several times. All of my kids have, children and natural and stepchildren have all. I've had them all there, and they know about the ministry because I'm there doing. My mom's taught sewing classes there. I mean, we're just there all the time.
So wonderful.
So we've been painting. We've painted walls. We've done apartments, of course. We've furnished apartments, and that's just our place that we go all the time. We do a lot of stuff during Christmas. So she's been there a lot, and she just woke up and had this idea. So I'm like, oh my God, that'll be an awesome idea. So my daughter and I and my mom have a meeting on Monday. We have our official meeting, and we start talking through it. Some people in my office came in, and they're putting, their input in. That night we created a logo, we created a name, and a week later we've got people that are, just all kinds of clients that are ready to send business for these girls to work on their marketing. So it is a marketing agency. These ladies will be coming in starting on the 24th. So not this Monday, but the next Monday, they'll start training on how to market for these small businesses at any budget. So that I told them if they have $200, we'll work for their $200. So these ladies are just going to learn some marketing skills. They're going to work on several different kind of campaigns. They're going to do email blasts and outbound calling and just anything to get the word out about other businesses. And they're just going to learn some valuable skills about trying to get back into the workforce. And I'm just excited about everything that's going to happen through this. So the lady that works in my office, my office manager, came from Exodus Ministries. So I hired her in 2017 to kind of be the me out in the marketplace for staging because I was still working for the flooring company. And she changed my life. She came in, she worked so hard. She has made, all of our clients adore her. It is amazing to see the transformation in her. So our hopes is we inspire somebody else to change like she did. So that's where it came from.
That's so awesome. So say the name of the organization again. I'm going to type it in here for people.
It's called the Exodus Ministries, and our company is the Restart Agency.
Restart. So can people use them from anywhere around the country because it's remote? Mm-hmm. They can do anything.
Yes.
And it's not just staging businesses. It's any company that needs marketing.
Any company that needs marketing. So we've got a lot of investors that are calling us and they want us to do, cold call campaigns for houses. We've got an eyelash company that said she's ready to get some, just any kind of business. And it's been so amazing. We just a couple of days ago this was last week when we did the announcement, and we have literally got at least 12 people that are ready to sign up. Like, tell me when they start. I'm sending everything I have that way, and it's just overwhelming because that not only do they want help, but they want to help these girls, learn some skills. And I'm just excited. We've got people coming in to volunteer to train them, sales training. It's crazy.
So amazing.
It's crazy.
It's it's really wonderful because a lot of people would just kind of overlook them or not really give them a second chance. And everybody deserves a second, even a third chance. If they have a desire and are truly motivated to make a change, being able to have an outlet to do that. And I love that, one morning or day you were talking about it, you have a logo, you have a business plan by the next day. And I think you're like a human doer, like I am too. It's like, just if you have it, you implement it versus other people might have ideas, but then they just don't do anything with them. And it could be a really great idea. I think so, you're sort of fearless when it comes to doing things because what's the worst that could happen?
You just try it. I tell people all the time that if you have an idea, somebody else is having that idea too. So once you're contemplating, oh, I should do this, and you're strategizing in your head, I got to do this before this, I got to have the money before I do that. And then you're scrolling on Facebook and you see that business idea go across your screen and you're like, oh my God, I just thought of that. Yeah, they did too.
Well, I know. And my daughter, when she was in college, I was there her junior, senior year, she had to do a business plan. And so we came up with the concept, and this was 2015. No, when did she graduate? Yeah, let's see, I think 2015. So anyhow, I came with the concept of Java Jet. So it was basically like delivering coffee to people in offices, because if they wanted their Starbucks, they didn't want to have to leave.
Oh,
So
wow.
it was yeah, I mean, we did the whole business plan. I got a logo, we did the website. I plotted out to be like a $300,000 annual business. And all you needed, because you weren't making anything, you were just going to the Starbucks, the coffee places, and then charging an upcharge for the delivery. Had this whole business plan. And I go, this is a really great business you should implement. And, you know, the McDonald's delivery didn't exist, the Starbucks, none of the delivery things existed at that time. And, you know, so it came and went. She didn't want to, she was like, I don't know if I really want to do that, Mom. But I thought it was, I still think it's a great idea, because it's for a lot of reasons, you don't have that one office person who has to leave, like, who wants coffee? And they get in their car, have to walk down, and then they're not producing for the company and they're losing money. So, but you're right. And then I started seeing like these delivery things, and I was like, you know.
Oh my gosh. That was a great idea at that time. And you just now, 6 years later, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was before, it was before Uber Eats. It was before DoorDash. It was before all of those people. I know. So, you know, and so it's been acting on it. Now, I didn't want to be the one running the company, so she would have had to do that. And, you know, she was, what was she, 21 at the time. And so anyhow, I mean, but you're right. It's, if you have a great idea, implement it. And it's sort of funny because, being from Colorado, you know, people are like, oh, marijuana. There's actually a journal that I saw on Facebook that was like, do this journaling when you're under the influence, basically, because all the creative ideas come. Oh, wow. And so it has all these really cool prompts. I was like, I wonder if I should order that. No, I don't smoke. I don't like the I don't like, it's stinky. But you know, other people that do, whatever you have to get in your creative mode. I don't know. For me, a lot of stuff comes when I'm just about ready to go to sleep.
Yeah, that's my time.
These ideas come. Yeah,
it's my time too. As soon as my mind tries to settle, then it just starts running. I'm like, oh my God, where did that idea come from? So every night I'll have something going through. I'm like, okay, well, I'll write that down in the morning. Sometimes I forget. So
I text it. I do it right then. I text it to myself, because I know I'll forget. I may not remember, like, what was that big inspiration or something? And it could even just be like I'm helping my son and his friend. They're launching a cleaning business. So it's like, turn your passion into profit, right? So they're both like OCD about cleaning. So I'm like, let's make some money, and being able to come up with the wording. And I had this funny term I was thinking for this guy, Carlo. And I thought I got to write that down, because I knew I wouldn't remember it in the morning. So I just think when we're going to sleep, our minds are, it's, you know, you're getting rid of all the other stuff from the day, and you can really just kind of hone in. And when those ideas come, you know, definitely write them down.
Yeah. I got to get better at writing stuff down. And I used to be a doodler. So my mother used to hate my guts. I would write. So I'd be on the phone, on the actual phone, you know, when we had house phones, and I would be writing on my sheets when I'm talking to my friends.
Oh, that's so
and
funny.
I'd be like, oh, girl, no. And I'll write notes. And I used to just had a problem doodling. I would do it all day. And my mom was like, if you write on these sheets one more time, you know, she gets so mad. But I would always be journaling, not knowing that was what it was, but be just taking notes all the time. So I got to get back to that, but not necessarily on my sheets. But
right. Exactly. Let's talk about, so in speaking of which, so I want to find out, I want to know how you got into the industry. And then also let's talk about, you did these dream boards at the end of the year. You had an online thing for people to do vision boards. Let's talk about what that is. And then also your, one of your big visions that came to fruition last year, after you had kind of put that into place. Talk about, you know, because I'm not one that's like, oh, I can't talk about success because I don't want to feel like I'm bragging. And people who think like people are bragging, you know what, get over yourselves. Success, we should be happy for people when they're successful. And I learned a long time ago, and my husband, his father would say this, and I learned it from my husband, there's always somebody who will be doing better than you, people who have it worse than you. And the thing is not to compare, but use it as a way to, if you are aspiring to have that same level of success, there's people who've accomplished it. So you know it's possible. So let's talk about, how did you get into the industry?
So how I got in the industry, this is a crazy story. So I was a flooring rep for a chain of flooring stores, and I was going to be on a show on Oxygen Network and Style. Those things don't even exist anymore. Oxygen and Style Network, and it was for a home stager. His name was Jason Maxwell in our market. And
I know Jason
oh,
very well.
Jason. And Jason is, he was the largest stager in our market. So we're on this show and I'm in there. I got my little flooring samples and I say something stupid on the show and it was crazy. So we did about, I think, 2 pilots and it didn't work out. But I was more infatuated with what Jason did. I was just doing the remodel stuff for his, because he did full service. He would do the remodel and then stage. So his company took care of everything.
He's the equity enhancer.
Equity Enhancers was the name of his company and the show. It was called Equity Enhancers. And I think if you Google Equity Enhancer, that video shows up of the clip of the show. And so I was just infatuated. So I go to his warehouse one day and I am blown away. Oh my God, this place is amazing. He's got aisles and aisles of lamps and artwork. And I'm thinking this is the coolest job ever. And I'd already kind of been doing like decorating for family and friends, but I never thought about it as a business. So I was just thinking, oh, this is fun. This is my side thing. Well, Jason had a lifestyle change. If anybody knows him out there, he woke up one day and changed his life. He said, God spoke to him. This is not the life that he wanted to live. So he moved back with his parents to Arkansas and sold his business. So now our market is without one less stager, but he was huge. So he had a really big business. And I would hear realtors talking about they needed a stager. They're like, oh, Jason, he's gone. He moved away. I need a stager. And I'm thinking, how hard is it? I think I can do that. So I buy the book from Barb Schwartz. It says the name of the book was How to Build a Successful Home Staging Business. Right. I didn't even know anything about it. I was looking things up online. I bought the book and read the book and I'm like, oh my God, I can do this. So the next week or so, I was a stager. I started advertising myself as a home stager in a lot of the investor groups. So one of the investors called me. She said, hey, I have a house I need a quote on. Freaking out. I don't know how to structure this thing. I'm just gonna make this up as I go, but I want to do this. This looks like the coolest job ever. And I go and meet with the lady, and maybe the day before I met with her, I went to a small mom and pop rental company, like Aaron's, but it was a husband and wife team in a small, suburb of Dallas. And I walk in there with the most confidence. I want to go back to them and see those people, because I walked in there like I had done 100 houses. I'm a home stager. Yes. And I need some furniture. And I'm going to be using y'all all the time. This is going to be the company. I had never done this before. So they're excited, just as excited as I am. They don't know that I had never done a job. And I'm talking to them like I know what I'm doing. So I'm like, I need a bedroom, I need a living room, I need a dining table. So they're working up a deal for me. They're like, we're going to give you great pricing. They shouldn't have gave me a discount, but they did. But they didn't know that, because I came in there with all the confidence of a home stager that had been doing this for years. And they were my first source of furniture. So I went there, met with the lady. I already knew the price that they'd given me. So I already know what's going on. And I gave her a quote, and she wanted to do it like 2 days later. So I have them deliver the furniture. I go to my house and I rip it apart. I am every greenery, every wall art, my breakfast table chairs, my
pillows,
all kinds of everything. So my girls I think they were seniors. I have a set of twins that are seniors in high school at this time. And they come in the house and they're like, oh, did we get robbed? We didn't get robbed. I'm doing something called staging. It'll be back in 30 days. So don't worry. You'll have your stuff.
It's going to go into another house.
or it's going to be moved. And that lady, this investor, was so happy with this house. I look at it today. I still have pictures somewhere. It was terrible. But she was so happy with this house. She told all her friends, and now I'm really officially a stager. So I will tell you about my contract. The book that I bought from Barb Schwartz has 3 contracts in the back of it. My contract was exact. I had stayed up all night and I typed every word of that contract because I didn't know where to get one. And she was fine with it. She signed it. And that was the start of my business. That was my very first job. And it just grew from there. But that I had to make it happen in any kind of way. So
Yeah.
she paid the invoice, no problem. I was so excited. I still remember the payment going through, like, oh, she paid.
Money. Well, and I think that the key, the word you said several times, confidence, because it's not fake it till you make it, but it kind of is. And
Yes.
that's the number one trait that people are looking for with business owners. It's not, and I read this in like a USA Today article years ago, was like, what is the number one trait they're looking for real estate agents? And the number one was confidence. It wasn't expertise. It wasn't how many houses you'd sold. It was them having confidence that they could get them from point A to point B and get them the results. And so when you walked in with confidence, and my line was, I'm launching my business in this region, and I'm looking to partner with real estate agents who see the value in including staging. And I had never staged a house before. And so, but they just assumed, oh, she had a business somewhere else. And so I never, if they'd ask me that, or they say, how many houses have you staged? And in fact, people listening, how many houses have you staged? When people ask you that question, they don't really necessarily want a number. They just want to know that they're working with somebody who's capable. And so what I teach is like, don't say, well, you're my first client. I've never even staged a house before. You say, my goal is to stage 100 houses this year, and I'm right on track.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, I love
or
it.
how much money have you made in that business? I have some really aggressive goals set for my business, and we're doing great. We're right on track. And even real estate agents, how many houses have you listed and sold? Our goal is to list 50 houses this year. We're right on track. And then that seems to satisfy the people that want the information, because it's the confidence and your enthusiasm that carried you through. And I'd love to see the big picture. I know my first staging, so when I got started, nobody was even staging vacant houses in my market. And so it was the second year that it cycled. I finally got my first opportunity. It was a Del Webb retirement community. I didn't even have furniture. I didn't even have money to go buy a bed or an air mattress. There weren't rental companies renting furniture. So I remember I took stuff out of my house, and in the living room, I have a purple chair in the living room, and then I had my mom had given me a rug, and I had the sad little Michael's tree that was trying to puff up like it had more leaves than it did. Like, I'm going to the show, sitting there with this little piece of art, and I accessorized the kitchen, raided my house. The bedroom, I put an ottoman with a hat box and like a pillow. And the tree. I mean, it was like, I look at that, because back then vignette staging was kind of done. Listen, the house next door was vacant. It didn't sell. Ours did. The realtor was really happy. But I look back at how I started and where the industry was back then, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah. I have a book of my first maybe 10 stages. Yes. So I'll have to post that book. That book is, and I'm thinking, this is the showpiece. Yeah, you can look through here. And I'm thinking, now I would show that to nobody. No,
I know. But you know what? I mean, our beginning roots are important, because the industry, I think as the industry's evolved, obviously the design aesthetic has evolved, and the expectation of buyers and the statistics that came out from NAR, the profile of home staging, they spent a lot of time on the impact of television on buyers' expectations and how they expect the houses to look like they do on HGTV and TLC and these other design shows. So, you can't just, I mean, I still today, it drives me nuts. I'll go in and there'll be like a stuffed animal on the floor with like a little tinky chair in a bedroom. And they go, oh, we staged our listing. No, you didn't. That looks ridiculous. It'd be better to just have it empty, right? I mean, to me, it sort of like devalues what we do. It's not just throwing old crap at a house and it'll sell. It's placement, it's scale, it is color. We think about all of that. And I sometimes feel like we do ourselves a disservice by not showing the work that goes in. So with the whole video and so forth, with reels and videos you can do, show the mover, show the labor, show the sweating, show the unglamorous side of it, because that's what people are paying for, the behind the scenes, and they see the finished product. Why am I paying so much for this? Because of all the work that went into to plan this whole thing and to make it come out as fabulous as it did.
That's true.
But I think it's interesting that buyers, and that's only going to increase their expectation, that they don't want to walk into a house that's dirty or messy or empty, and they want to have that feeling, that wow factor.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. We do need to show more of the real thing. And a couple of years ago, I don't know, I think I mentioned this to you, that we were going to do a show on HGTV about, it was called Stagers USA, and they were supposed to show the stagers, and there was going to be 3 different stagers on the East, West, and Midwest. I wish that would have actually happened, because then that would have shown people what we really do, like what this is not an easy job. And I think that
Right.
what we call stagents think that is it's an easy thing, but it really is a lot of work. I mean, we every penny that we charge and whatever the price is, we earn that. So I think that
Absolutely.
we need to, that if we had an opportunity to show that, we need to do that more. So.
Well, we've actually talked about doing like a week in the life, a show using, because there's several people in our association that have that media background that they can do the filming. Joseph Hecker and I've talked about it. Jeff Wong is out of Houston. He has media background. And so it's just a matter, and then COVID hit. So it's like we had talked about this in 2019. So it's something that I think is really necessary, whether it's people sending footage in and we craft a show or we actually follow someone around. It's almost like a true reality of staging. And they got to see us loading the truck and sweating and, bleeping out the words that we don't want
the crazy stuff that happens, the police being called. I know we had some crazy stuff happen, but people, there's always a neighborhood watch lady that's in the neighborhood and they don't believe that you're there to do what you're there to do. And we've had all kinds of stuff happen to us. We had to show the home or show the neighbor our contract with the house. And then they called the police because they didn't believe the contract was real, thinking that we were coming in to be a squatter. So when the police gets there, we show the police, oh, this neighbor's just being nosy. They're, So we've had some crazy stuff. Have getting locked out of the front door, have to climb out of a window to get around, just those things.
We've done some of that too. We've had, and we've had the police called on us when the alarm has gone off and there's nobody to call to get the code off, and you're sitting there like, we're not here to steal. This is actually my stuff in the house. Yeah. I get my labels on the bottom. I can show you.
Bringing furniture in here. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I mean, and I think it's it definitely is a logistically, it's a complicated business. Stagers that focus just on consultations and so forth, and you can make good money doing that too. So if you're watching, you don't have to have furniture and trucks and so forth. You can make more money doing vacants. I think you get more money up front, but then I would take a look at the cost basis. Like, are you covering your overhead? I had a student once that she did. She had a little warehouse. She was out of Las Vegas, and she ended up moving to either Florida or Texas. I'm trying to with her daughter. But anyhow, she was like, oh, I have a warehouse. And I have, I charge $4,500 for my stagings. I'm like, God, that's amazing. That's really great. Well, she did 6 a year. And so when we started doing the profit and your overhead and loss, I was like, girlfriend, her storage unit was $1,700 a month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I said, if you could just add in one more staging,
right.
6 more a month or whatever, if you could add in 6 more, you could really start making some money. Mm-hmm. So I think that, stagers need to be taught the business of staging, and because it is very lucrative, you can make good money. And that leads me right into the vision boards. Yes. And then let's talk about your great accomplishment last year.
Oh, yes. So vision boards, I'm a huge fan of vision boards. My sister and I are, I'd say, serial entrepreneurs, and every year we have a vision board party for just our friends. It started off just at our house. My birthday is in June, so we had a vision board party for my birthday party several years ago, and then we started making it a thing in December. But we just love them. Like, we think that they are good for people, not only just to get together and kind of work on something, work on their goals and kind of look at what the next year looks like, but really hone in on what you want. Like, really put everything that your heart desires on this board. And so, and we try to be really specific about what we want. So I do two. So I did one for a virtual one for my sister and I's thing that we do every year. And then I do one, this is my second year doing one for church. So I've been hosting the church vision board party, which is a lot of fun. But it's so serious to me, and I know that they work because last year my husband and I bought 5 acres of land in a small town here in Texas, and our dream was we were going to get this house built. and we want our forever house there, and it's got to have everything we want for our family. So it's just us. Our kids are grown, and we have one 14-year-old, but he's he's in and out. He's at his mom's or with us, but he's not there a lot. So it's basically just us in a house. So we drew this house out. We drew out the plans. We had the plans created, and this was going to be where we're going to live. And so on 5 acres, of course, we got a pool, we got a pavilion, we got a fire pit, we got a workshop for his cars because he's got a problem, so we need space for his cars, a big problem. And so this was everything we wanted. And I wake up one night and look online, and I see this house. And so, not looking for a house, I'm just on realtor.com. Like I said, I'm on there all the time because there's an empty house, I'm going to call that agent. So I'm on there and I see this house that's in another kind of eastern part of our area, but rural area. And I love this house. I'm like, oh my God, I want to see it. So I send it to my best friend. She's a realtor. I said, tomorrow, set me up an appointment. We want to go see this house. She said, I didn't know we were looking for houses. I said, we weren't, but I like it. And we go to see this house, and it is absolutely beautiful. But this is the builder's personal. So the guy that lives there, this is his personal home. So of course it's gorgeous. The wife was home. She had decorated. This looked like it could be in a magazine. It was beautiful, and it had everything that we wanted. But it was under contract. The house was under contract when we got there. So when we walked in the door, the agent called and she was like, hey, we executed a contract. So they took me up as a backup, but the agent knew me. So she had staged with me before. So about a week later, she inboxed me and said, hey, there's another house that Scott built. It's on the other side of the freeway. I want you to see it when I sign the listing agreement before I put it online. And I'm like, okay, I'm going whenever, set up the appointment. So I tell my friend we're going over to see another house. And as soon as we pulled up to this house, I knew this is the house that we drew on our plans. And I had that house on my vision board for 2021. And it said Dream House at the top. And I think I have it on my phone. It had Dream House on my vision board. And this was what my husband and I thought this was going to be the way it turned out. And it is here. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this though. Oh, yes.
Yes.
This is the house that I had on my 20, and it's our 4th wedding anniversary over there, 4th wedding anniversary in February. So, I was just putting everything that I wanted in that year. And this was the 5 acres of land. So I'm thinking, this is what I want, my dream house. So the house that we ended up buying, when I pulled up to the house, it had everything: the workshop, the pool, the fire pit, the pavilion, everything that he wanted in the house. It was on 3 acres instead of 5. And she never put it on the market. She let us put an offer. It was our house. And in this market in July in Dallas, Texas, this house would have went way over list. They didn't negotiate. They took our offer. This was our house. And I still at the closing table didn't believe, like, this was not happening. I kept saying, they're going to call me for closing and they're going to say a problem. Something happened. I'm still feel like I'm dreaming, because at the beginning of this year, I would have never seen this coming. I wasn't even looking for a house, and this was nowhere on my vision. So this happened exactly as it was supposed to happen, but I just never knew how it was going to get there. I wanted it to, but I didn't know how. But putting that on my vision board made me believe. Now there's no year that will go by without me doing one, because I'm doing it all the time.
Yeah, because you did have a vision for it, even though you said you weren't looking for it. You'd already put it down.
Mm-hmm.
So that when you saw it, you recognize that this is it. Oh, and that's the importance of putting goals, writing them down, visualizing. So, cutting things out of magazines or drawing pictures or whatever, so that you recognize the opportunity or what you're when you see it. Because if you I think people are so afraid of putting things out there because, like, what if I don't get that? What if it doesn't happen? You know, plans can change and so forth. But the reason you recognize that as your house is because you had the vision for it. You had written it down, you'd prayed about it, and it came to fruition. And so that house, I mean, I just think it's so incredible.
It was
Isn't
so
it?
so incredible and unbelievable. Like just the way, and I'll show you. I don't know if you can see this, and they can see this at home, but this is
Beautiful.
the house that we ended up buying, and the plans and the elevation of the plans that we had created, the house looks almost exactly the same way. So when I drove up, I was like, oh my God, this is it. And when we went inside, my friend was just staring at me. She knew that I was in love. She could see it in my eyes, and I'm just thinking, this is real. We are about to buy our dream house. And she was like, I'll have the contract over you. So she didn't even talk to me. She told the agent, I'll have the contract over to you tonight.
Yeah.
Because she
I
knew
mean,
this was it.
and then it's so incredible because, you know, people need, and I think it's really important, people need to hear the success stories of people in our industry that they are achieving good things. And you can buy a really beautiful house and you can travel and you can, you know, you can buy you have a beautiful car too. Isn't it a fun color like yellow or pink or something? Blue?
The inside is red. So I
Red,
have
that's right, black and red. I love that car.
blood and smoke gray on the outside and
Yeah.
then all red interior. I love it.
Or
But
actually, what is the shoe that has the red sole?
yeah, red bottoms. Oh
Yeah, is it
Louboutin.
Louboutins? No, the
Mhm.
Louboutins. Right, I'm
Yeah.
not saying it right. Anyway, that's kind of like the car that represents like this, the shoe of cars or the car of shoes or whatever that with the red and the black. I think it's so striking, and to not feel like you have to hide your success and you know, it doesn't have to be material things either. It could be just taking care of your family or paying for kids'
Yes.
education or, you know, planning for your retirement, whatever it is. It's put it out there, write it down. And I know you shared your vision with other people too, because people sometimes will keep it to themselves because then they feel like, oh, if I never achieve that, they're gonna look at me like I'm a loser or a failure.
Right.
And manifesting success shouldn't be something that we're ashamed of or scared to do. And rewarding ourselves too.
That's true. I did. I watched a video. Steve Harvey put a video out, and it was a great video about writing down 300 goals. This is my first time doing it this year, and something crazy happened to me. I'm writing these goals, and probably about 120, I slowed down because I was going really fast, and I was thinking all these things, and 120 came, and I was like, oh gosh, I slowed down because you're not thinking that broad. So when I started thinking about what I really wanted and it started flowing, I could have went to 500. Like I was going by 300. I was like, oh my God, that's it. I'm done. I can do more. But number 252 on my list was to meet Michelle Obama. And I got a call maybe a week later. So I did it on the 29th. So I did the 300 goals on the 29th. So maybe the first week of January. So maybe like, what's today? The 12th. So like last Friday, the 7th, I got a call from a lady that has a group called Black Ladies Who Love Outdoor Living or something, outdoor spaces. I think it's a group, and 242,000 members in this group. These ladies love outdoor. They post their patios. They post all kind of good patio furniture. Hey girls, I just bought this. They have the gas lamps at Lowe's for $99. They post sales. It's a great thing, but it's all about outdoor living. Well, she's having a conference this summer, and she asked me to speak, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do that. So 2 days later, after she called me to ask to speak, she said Michelle Obama will be speaking at her conference. Number 252 is coming true this summer. Are you kidding me?
That's so amazing.
Yes. So of course I'm blown away. Do not even know how to process that yet. But I'm already seeing things on this list from a couple weeks ago already happening. So it's true. Like you really,
it really is. And let's quickly talk about the Hgtv show. So tell us what that's all about.
So this is another show that's being filmed here. It's the same producers as Fixer Upper. So they are a husband and wife team. I don't know if you guys know this. They live in Paris, France. So they're not even here. They're here for the show and then they go back. So the show is called Buy It or Build It, kind of like Love It or List It. I don't know about Hillary on Love It or List It. She's not my favorite person.
Yeah.
She fights with these people about their money and it makes me so angry. So, but our show is kind of on that same concept. This will be the third set of twins on HGTV. So the Scott brothers, and then the girls from Unsellable Houses, and then these guys. They're Chris and Calvin Lamont, the Lamont brothers, and they are one's a builder, one's a remodeler. So they're fighting over the client to either build a new house or remodel, find them rehab to live in. So their energy is so amazing. It is going to be a great show. So I am the stager, of course. I'm supposed to be staging with the people's furniture. It's not the people's furniture, but you know how these shows go. So I'm bringing everything in and I'm thinking that, they'll just show me the background. I'll get a shot or two, but a couple episodes I will be actually on. So I'm on doing all 6 of the houses, but some shows they have me mic'd up and I'm actually talking to the guys, which is scary to me. So I'm excited.
How fun. So you'll be staging the houses that they could buy versus the ones that are built?
Yes.
Are they going to stage
both.
The built ones?
Both. Uh-huh.
Okay, good.
The new construction and the rehab. So
nice.
Because it's supposed to be their stuff. So
yeah.
We'll be bringing their.
Well, and who knows? They may end up buying stuff. And I'm always interested because I know Kevin had done Flip or Flop, and I remember asking him. They put the amount the stagers paid, and so I remember asking, "Is that actually the amount that you were paid?" Because most of the shows never talk about the fee, and so I'm hoping that your show shares the value of the staging and doesn't.
I don't think so.
No,
I think that this show is going to be more like Love It or List It because. They don't show. That's a staging company that's going in to do the stuff after, put the furniture in. And right. I think that this show is going to show that because I'm not supposed to be
right.
The staging thing is not in there. So for Kevin, I think theirs is a little bit different because they're actually selling the real estate.
Yeah.
But they have, so the 4 episodes that we've done, they've pretty much bought everything. The homeowners. So it's good for us. We get paid and we sell stuff. So Absolutely. It's great. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Yes.
It is. I mean, but I think that the more shows that are out there and the different angles, I feel like I missed my calling. You have twins, maybe you could get them into a show. My twin sister and I were, back in the day with like double mint commercials or whatever. And I remember my mom saying, I'm sorry about the dog. My mom saying, I don't want you guys to be exploited. And I'm thinking like, we could have made money, we're identical, but I think it's fun. These shows are really, really fun. They attract a, particular demographic. I think it is a different twist on whether you're going to build a house, because a lot of people think like, I can't build a house. I'm not a builder. Right. So how do you enter that whole thing? That's a whole different angle versus just remodeling or buying an existing property. So that's exciting. So how did they just reach out to you and,
they were my clients a couple years ago and I hadn't heard from them in a long time, but they had been doing remodels for people and not necessarily flipping for themselves. So I was thinking, these guys must be out of business. I haven't heard from them. And Chris called me at the beginning of last year and said, hey, we're doing this show on HGTV. We want you to be a part of it. And I'm thinking, this is my second time here in HGTV. I got excited the first time. I'm going to keep it cool. And then Canada called, and then it was real. I was like, this is happening.
So did you have Karen Dunkers asking, was the HGTV one of your goals on your list?
I think HGTV has always been one of my goals. I didn't necessarily write it down, but it has been as a home stager. I think that that's pretty much all of our goals is to be recognized and to get to a point in our careers where we're showcased on a higher level. So yes, that was one of my goals, but it was kind of unspoken. I do have some other goals this year that do involve other networks and, just making sure I'm maximizing that opportunity. Because I know Kevin gets lots of business because they're showing his company and they're showing his, his name and everything is out there. So I think since I'm more in the background because I'm not supposed to actually be working there, I just want to make sure that I'm getting all the exposure that I can on my end. So I'm not going to wait for them to try to promote me or whatever. I'm just going to try to do it here on my
Do
side.
they let you, like when they're filming, can you also do like a video or a reel showing you in action? Do they allow you to do that? Then you can post.
You can.
Okay.
Yeah, you can. And we've got a lot. We haven't posted anything. We've got a lot of like behind the scenes stuff for the first 4 episodes that we filmed. Just because you want your own stuff and you want to make sure that even if they don't put you out there like that, you want to make sure that you're capitalizing on all this press and what it
Absolutely.
could be. And so you want to just put it all out there.
It's all about marketing, yeah, and your brand and your image and being able to take that, because the way they edit things down, I've done segments on shows. Like I remember doing like a House Hunters, and I remember bringing everything in. I said, does our house have a chance? And then they were like, oh no, they've already been under contract for 3 weeks on another property, so it's all just fake,
Yeah.
And so I got like my logo on their thing for exposure. I didn't even get paid. That was back in the day. They were just like, can you come stage a house? If you'll get exposure, we'll put your logo on HGTV. So I was able to use that as a marketing tool then to get additional business, like I was selected or whatever. So you got to toot your own horn and frame it in a way that helps bring you business. There's nothing wrong with that. And so, I'm just so pleased with everything that you're doing. I know so many people admire how you've grown your business, and you really are fearless in so many ways with the things that you do, but you come from a place that is not, how do I say this? It's not all about you and status or whatever. You really are a giver as well. I mean, along the journey, you are helping people. You are helping people with businesses. You're doing so much outside of just even the staging world as well. And that's really to be admired. And, so kudos to you. And I know everybody watching is really inspired as well. So I know we'll have you back on the show because I know you got some more stuff in the works. We didn't get to talk about your class, but we'll do that. We'll talk about how that. You got too much going on. We need to have like a 2-hour show.
All kinds of stuff. But yes, we definitely can talk about that later. Still working on that, of course, and trying to get that done. I have lots of stagers across the country that reach out all the time, and I'm available. Like just inbox me and I'll say whatever, tell you whatever you want to know. But I want to do something a little bit more specialized and broader, a little bit broader, where they can reach out to me. And I have some information out there already, but I just want people to be accessible to stagers. I mean, we all run our businesses different. There's so many different ways to run this business. Like here in Dallas, we have mostly people that only do consultations, and they make good money doing consultations only. It's just, there's just so many ways to do it.
Absolutely. It's a great industry, and I love to be able to meet people like you. I'm glad you came to our conference in Denver. It was so great to have you there in person. Yeah, and it was so fun. And so we're in, New Orleans is going to be a blast, and so we're working on that. And I think 2022, we're just going to put it out there that envision what you want for your business. It's going to be a great year. Things can come at us from different sides, and stuff that's out of our control might try to slow us down, but we're going to persevere. And I think it's all about your attitude and your confidence moving forward, and expecting great results. So thank you for being on.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime I'm available.
Well, we love you, and thank you so much, Nikki, and everybody who tuned in. Thank you for tuning in. If you have missed any part of the show, it will be uploaded to the Homestaging Talk group and page, the YouTube channel for iHost, and also our homestagingtalk.com website. So thanks so much. I enjoyed having you on. I could keep talking for hours, but I know you got to get on with your day. Go start another business.
I know, right? Crazy. I just got out of a business meeting with one of our clients. She wants to partner with us on rehabbing houses. Okay.
That's awesome. So I know that you're a person that's like, I don't say no, I'm going to figure it out. That's awesome. Well, it's great having you on, and have a great rest of your week.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you later.